All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be talking about Terence Crawford, Jaron Ennis, and a big offer that Roy Jones Jr. says can be made to them to get them in a ring. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back. Shout out to everybody that is a supporter of the channel. Thank you for coming to watch another video with me. Chop it up with me in the comments section. This video, we're going to talk about something that was said by Roy Jones Jr. about Terence Crawford and Jaron Ennis, and how a fight with them can be made. And it is very similar to what people have been saying all this week about a fight between Gervonta Davis and Devin Haney. And the reason that I want to talk about this is because I'm sure when I say what Roy Jones Jr. said, and what is should be a very realistic thing, that people are going to come up with a reason why this should not happen. Even though in another scenario, they're pulling out all the stops to try to make it a viable option. Now, before I get into that though, to the people that leave super thanks in these videos, you are the ones. Thank you guys so much for sponsoring this video. I don't get sponsorships from big boxing organizations because, you know, we like to tell the truth as we see it here and not as it is told to us to tell to you. So thank you very, very much to everybody that puts that little coin, puts some coins in that jar with the super thanks. It means a lot. And Maddie, yo, you're the man. Barbara D, thank you, sister. Saw you today. Always a pleasure to speak with you. But let's get into this because I truly want to see this fight between Terence Bud Crawford, the former undisputed 140-pound champion, the former 147 undisputed champion, and the current 3-belt holder at 147 pounds against a young man that I believe is could be an absolute phenom in the sport of boxing, someone that there is no equal to in the welterweight class other than Terence Crawford, and very well may be a once-in-a-lifetime type of fighter. There have been several people that have said this, including Sean Porter, who said that he said this several years ago before Jaron even started looking better, that he had never seen anybody as talented as Jaron Ennis since maybe a young Roy Jones Jr. And let me tell you, that means a lot because Roy Jones Jr. came before everybody that's fighting today, Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather Jr. So suffice it to say, you got an exceptional talent out there. That Terence Crawford is in the same weight division as. So Roy Jones Jr. says that fight needs to happen. Obviously, Terence Crawford is going to want a lot of money to fight him, and so Roy says, why not go to the Middle East and have that guy Prince Turkey, and I can't say the rest of his name. I'm not going to mangle it. The Saudi prince that is putting on the really big events and handing out all that money over there in Saudi Arabia, put up the money for Jaron Ennis and Terence Crawford to fight over there. Seems like a very good solution because you have him doing that, or at least people are saying that about the Gervonta Davis versus Devin Haney fight, which I have to tell you, man, I don't really think is even as good a fight as the Terence Crawford-Jaron Ennis fight. That Terence Crawford-Jaron Ennis fight, man, is just, man, that's a wow right there. Gervonta Davis and Devin Haney, I think that's really good. Also, you've got Gervonta Davis. I think Gervonta Davis, Shakur Stevenson would be just as good. Gervonta Davis and Lomachenko, I think that would be off the chain. Devin Haney versus Matias. There's other fights that I think that are right around there. Maybe not Matias because of the name recognition, but still you get my point. That fight over there in the welterweight division is for undisputed and just two of the most spectacularly talented fighters of this century. What's the problem with that? The problem with it, and I'm telling you this, is I don't believe all that money. I don't have any solid reason to say I don't believe that there's a lot of money being offered. I do believe that there's a lot of money being spent. But if you look at those cards, the cards out there are not that good. And I don't really know if there's been a real fight that you could call a mega fight that has taken place in Saudi Arabia yet. I think the best thing that I've seen in those cards has been that card that had all those big name fighters on them, right? The Anthony Joshua versus Wallin, Deontay Wilder versus Joseph Parker. Then you had Obitaya on there. You had a lot of other, who else was on there? Dimitri Bivol was on there. But they were none of those guys were really fighting anybody that made any particular fight a really, really big deal. And then I think I saw another fight card that was announced that's going to be between Matchroom and Queensland Promotions, and that just looks like straight trash, like up and down, top to bottom, domestic level UK fight, blah. You know what I mean? I don't know whether, man, what they're really trying to do is trying to feature and trying to get a lot of UK tourism to come to Saudi Arabia, or what they're doing with that. But it seems to be a very European-centric fight cards that they're putting on. Now, of course, the Saudi prince did say that, I'm just going to call him Turkey. I'm not calling him Your Excellency or anything like that. Not out of any sense of disrespect to him, but I'm not Saudi Arabian, and I don't call King, what's the name? The King of England name, King Charles. I don't call him Your Majesty, King Charles. So people that want to keep asking me to call him Your Excellency, I'm not from Saudi Arabia. If I was from Saudi Arabia, I'd probably call him as Your Excellency. Probably wouldn't have any choice but to call him Your Excellency. But that said, and that to the side, this fight, if it would get it done, I'd take it, no doubt. But I have to tell you that I really think that, and I may be wrong, but I don't think you're really going to see really big fights that could take place in America and be really, really big take place over there, because I don't believe when Tyson Fury says that he got paid $50 million for that fight with Francis Ngannou. I don't believe it. And the reason that I don't believe it is because I've seen Tyson Fury is the type of dude, if he made 10, he'd say he made 100. That's just kind of what they do. So if he said 50, I'm going to cut that in half and say he probably got around 10. Right? But I could be wrong. There are people that have said that there's been a lot of money paid, like Deontay Wilder. One report said he made 10. Another one said that he made 20, right? But when you have a fight like, say, a Gervonta Davis fight where Gervonta Davis can really like show out, dude, these guys have the potential to make $50-60 million. And on top of that, set themselves up to have more of those fights. Because when you go hide your light under a basket for money, you don't actually grow your name. You're not building on anything. So there's a real risk with going over there. Just like there was a risk to Canelo Alvarez to go take that money from DAZN and have his fights on free on DAZN. That didn't grow Canelo Alvarez's name. It didn't grow his presence. He didn't go from doing 1 million pay-per-views to having fights set up where he was doing 3. He just got the same amount of money over and over again that he got when he did 1 million pay-per-view, right? So, I mean, it's a funny situation. And I think to have a lot of these fights go over there is a little bit of a pipe dream, and it's also highly unreliable in the long run, because you're really working with whatever the whim is of that Saudi prince or the Saudi royal family, who may decide, this isn't working for us, let's stop it. You know what I mean? How are you going to build if you do that? That's similar to boxing going off of regular TV and going to HBO, where HBO started paying and doing the matchmaking and paying these big guaranteed purses. And then, you know, promoters aren't out there in the streets, out there really promoting the fighters and getting, you know, concerned about the gates that they're getting. And they, all of a sudden, you see Top Rank just wither into this European, basically European immigrant type of boxing format that isn't selling with American citizens. So anyway, that's my take on the matter. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.